What's up guys, and welcome back to Getting Huge. So I figured we'd start today's episode with weighing myself, and hopefully by the end of this month we can drop like a good 5 kilos, but we'll see what I weigh now. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got these Hawaii Smart Scale, so I'm just going to pair it with my phone very simply. Pair device, Hawaii Body Fat Scale, and then I just have to step on it and start. There we go. So let's see what I weigh this morning. 103.5 kg. Now I have eaten a little bit, so that might be slightly out. I stepped on it earlier and it was 102.6. So, and it's saying I'm 30% body fat, which is clearly incorrect, but the actual weighing is pretty accurate, the actual weight. So there we go, 103 kilos as my start point, and it's going to save that into my phone automatically, which is pretty cool. So I can keep a record every single day and see what my weight's doing. So it's got all the stats on there, so it thinks my BMR is 2,100 and I'm only eating 2,000 calories a day. It thinks I've got 70 kilos of muscle mass. I think I've got more than that, because I'm definitely not 30% body fat. So yeah, I'm obese according to my BMI. Yeah, so I'm going to do some posing now just to see what I look like full body, and we'll catch you. Okay, so this is my start of my bulk and what I look like. I'm happy with my legs. They are definitely growing, and I'm working to make them balance with my physique a lot more. I know there's still got a lot of work to do, but I feel like they're improving, and I feel like my upper body is in pretty good symmetry. I just got to work on the forearms a little bit. My chest is always there. Like, my triceps have improved a lot over the lockdown. Actually, it's the only thing I've really consistently trained for the last few months, and it's definitely rounded out my arms. Like, they've definitely got bigger, a lot, especially from, they've just got like tricep sweep now. And my back is always just pretty big as well, so I'm more just got to work on these legs to bring them out, especially my calves. Just all of my legs really need to grow. So that is where I'm at 103 kilograms now. I'm pretty happy with how I look, and in a month's time I'll be a lot leaner than this, and then I'll start my bulk from there. Because if I start my bulk from this point, like I said, I'm just going to get unnecessarily fat most likely, and the drugs aren't even going to kick in for like 4 to 6 weeks properly anyway. So I might as well use this time at the start to like do a mini cut and get trimmed down, so that I can reverse diet out, slowly add calories, and not just jump onto like 4,000 calories a day and get fat. I'll go 2,000, then 2,200 one week, 2,400, and just keep bumping up like that until I get to an amount of calories where I'm just gaining muscle, not gaining fat. And if I start to gain too much fat, I'll cut back the calories again until I find sort of the perfect zone. But I'm reckoning about 3,500 calories will be my optimum bulking calories, but we'll see. It's going to be a long time till I get that, and this is going to be a long bulk. It's going to be at least 5-6 months, which is why I really wanted to make sure that my diet is on point, because if I'm overeating for 5 or 6 months, it's going to be so hard to get rid of that fat. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I look at the moment. I've got my abs in, my chest symmetry is pretty good, my delts are pretty good, my traps are always big. So yeah, it's just about balancing out my physique really, this bulk, and making sure I don't become a chubba-lub dad bod. Right, so I'm just off to the gym to hit some back and shoulders. It's about 9:45, so my training sessions vary in time depending on my shifts. So on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I work the 5 PM to 9 PM close. So it's like it's a typical PT job, so unpaid working for the gym, cleaning it, just chatting to people, and then I can personal train whoever I want in there. And it's a really awesome gym, so if you live around the South End area, just pop into Optimum Fitness, because I'm giving away free PT sessions for the first one. I've only got one client at the moment, so I've got loads of free time to fit people in. I'm actually training a coaching client there tomorrow. He just signed up, and he's from Southend, so we're going to give him a session in the gym. Next week, I'm training another coaching client from London, so we're going to go down to Rip Gym Basildon. We're going to record. He's trying to get into contest shape, but he's looking really good. He's like in his mid-30s. and yeah, he's changing fast, so I've got to teach him some posing. I'm getting a posing class myself next week. I've had one booked in since March when I was going to do the contest, and I just didn't get around to using it because of coronavirus. I'll be taking a posing class too, most likely recording that, trying to improve my posing and try and get a routine down. But yeah, this new job's good because it's forcing me to do cardio every day because I've got to cycle to the gym and back. It's only 3 kilometers, but it's quite flat, so I flat out ride as hard as I can. It's a nice warm up to get to the gym. On the way home, sometimes in the evening in dark, it's a bit annoying because it's a slight incline on the way back all the way, and it feels like it's just really long and grindy. But on the way there, I really floor it, and it does get me heart rate going, gets me nice and warmed up. So I track all the workouts now on my phone with a smartwatch, so we can see how many calories I burn cycling, my heart rate across the time. Also, there's a setting on this watch where you can just set a standard workout. So I don't know how accurate the calorie burn on this is, because you can select like rower, elliptical, triathlon, trial run, hike, climb, open water. There's not really a setting for weight training, so I've just had to select other. But I'm not sure how accurate the calorie burn on that is. So we'll do the workout with that on, and we can look at the data afterwards, and we can see what sort of heart rates I get up doing a weight training session, because the heart rate monitor on this is pretty accurate. But yeah, let's head off to the gym and get some recording done and try and get a good back and shoulder session in. One of my favorites, get a sick pump from it, so let's go. Okay, so before we go through the workout, I just want to go through the stats. So here is my cycle to and from the gym, to the gym on the left, from the gym on the right. You can see on the way there I was far quicker. Now this is partly because it's slightly downhill, like I said, but also I had a tailwind, which made it even easier on the way there and even harder on the way back. Also on the way back I was fucked, and you can see my average heart rate was way higher on the right, even though I'm going way faster on the way there. And that's because the whole time I was just like, I was tired from the workout, and it was much harder to cycle against the wind and up the hill, so it was actually a much harder ride back, which is why it took me longer and I went quite a bit slower. So yeah, it's just interesting to compare these two things. It's exactly the same route, and just a difference a bit of wind can make in being tired out from the workout. Also, I did this workout basically fasted, so yeah, the ride there was good, the ride back was horrible. And then the actual workout itself was 1 hour and 47 minutes long. It guesstimated I burned 1,000 calories. How accurate that is, I don't know, because for me to burn 1,000 calories on the Stairmaster, it's 1 hour of solid like tempo just walking on the Stairmaster. And in this workout I was sitting down a lot between sets, chilling out, moving the camera around to get good angles. So I don't know if I actually would have burnt 1,000 calories, maybe, but I think it would be less than that. But the workout was 1 hour 45 minutes long. Like, it took that long to get everything in, and my average heart rate for it was 125. And I think the maximum was when I was doing some of the rest pause or muscle round sets, or the supersets at the end. But yeah, it's good how the phone breaks down, like when you're in the fat burning zone, when you're aerobic training or warm up, and like when you're doing extreme or anaerobic training, so really pushing your heart rate to the max in those ones. But I thought these stats are really interesting, so we'll compare next time to maybe a leg day and see how many calories a leg day burns in comparison, whether the more intensity, heavier stuff is using more energy. It obviously makes sense to, and then compare it to an arm day, but we'll see. I'm not sure how accurate the actual calorie burn is. For the cycling, I think it's pretty accurate because my weight's in there and everything. I've got the distance and the speed, so I can get a good idea of the calorie burn. But with this just general workout one, I think it's a bit vague. So anyway, let's get on to the training footage. Okay, so we started off today's back workout how I normally start them off with pull downs. I just like to do pull downs. It's a nice way to warm up without pulling anything, hurting your shoulders. I don't really like going in straight with heavy rows like some people do. It's just not my preference. So I like to do a warm up set of about 20 reps or so, get the blood going, and then I whack the weight up really heavy and do 2 rest pause sets. So I've talked about these loads before, but for those of you who don't know, that is where you pick a weight where you can do around 10 to 12 reps is like the maximum you can do. Now I picked slightly too light a weight for this set, I did about 14, and then you have 10 deep breaths rest, you don't change the weight, and you do as many reps as you can again, then, which I'm doing here, so I think I managed 5 or 6. Alright, so it gets you a lot of volume in, and then you have another 10 seconds rest, or 10 breaths rest, it's about like 20 seconds, and do as many as you can. So it's basically a set broken into 3 chunks where you max out and really overload the muscle fibers with a heavy weight, but you got that little break in between for a bit of ATP to restore, so you can keep going and really max it out. Second, I went on to face pulls. Now, I like to do my back workouts with back, shoulders, I like to alternate, and it gives the chance for the shoulders to get fatigued doing back exercises, but it also gives the chance for your back to recover a little bit between the heavier exercises that might be quite taxing. Face pulls are one of my favourite exercises. So good for building your rear delts and traps. It's why my shoulders and traps have probably grown a lot, is face pulls and rear delt exercises, which a lot of people neglect. And it's all about that squeeze at the back there. You can see my traps really contracting and my rear delts pumping. You know, that is the trick to face pulls. Then we go on to another back exercise, and this is where I started to feel a bit lethargic, because of just the low calories yesterday, starting the mini cut, and I didn't eat anything before this workout, so it was kind of tiring. So we're doing muscle round sets for rows. I love these on exercises like back. So it's simply where we break the set into chunks of 6 reps, and again you keep the weight the same, but you're not using too heavy a weight, so it's like somewhere in between. It's like a moderate weight, so it gets harder as you go along. So the second chunk isn't too hard, and with these ones you have 10 seconds rest between each chunk rather than 10 deep breaths. So it's a little bit more intense in a way. You get 24 reps in per set, and by the end of it you just get a nasty pump. It's a really good way of just overloading the muscles. So in between each of these cuts is 10 seconds and more rows, and you can really see my traps getting worked here. So I'm getting that full stretch there and squeeze, stretch and squeeze. That stretch is a massively important part of any row or back movement, and a lot of people just don't do it properly. So this is the last chunk of 6 reps. So a set of muscle rounds takes a good 2 minutes sometimes, and you know, it's a long time for the muscles to be working, and it really does, you know, help them grow. Like, since I started doing muscle round and rest pause sets frequently, I started them last summer, I'll say, I can regain muscle so fast with them. It's just a really effective bodybuilding way to gain muscle and overload. Next, we're going on to rear delt flies with the cables. So this is a great way of doing it instead of a dumbbell, because you get that constant tension all the way through the movement, because it's pulling across your body as well, as you can see there. So that rear delt and all the shoulder muscles are getting constantly stretched, and you can see at the back there the peak contraction is popping. I'm trying to not use as little trap as possible, but obviously the traps are going to get involved. The biggest problem people make with this is they use almost entirely traps and don't get actually much rear delt movement out of it, and because they're having the elbow too far back rather than in parallel with their chest. After this, again, back to a back exercise even, so we're doing prone rows. This is where you lie on a bench and you have your back supported. It means you can't really cheat the reps, and at this incline, it really focuses on your lower inner lats, and when you pull your chest off the bench like I'm doing every rep, you really feel it squeeze your lower back a lot, but it's also going to work your traps, your rhomboids. It's just a row movement, and it's just more targeting for the lower portions of your back to try and thicken it out. So if you're lacking your lower lats, you know, this is a great exercise for it. And here you can kind of see I need to work on my arms, because my shoulders are massively dominant over my arm size, and it might just be a bad angle, but I want to look good from all angles. So yeah, although my arms are big, they need to be even bigger to catch up with my shoulders, because they just seem to grow non-stop. So then we're going to another back exercise, because we nearly finished the back ones. Pullovers, one of my favorites as well. You get such a nice stretch in your back from these. Really gets your lats thickened at the top by your armpits, just stretches them out, but also you get at that peak contraction, you feel that squeeze in your lower back, lower lat muscles, and you know, your lower traps as well. So the trick to this is really that slow controlled arc movement, and I think doing it with a straight bar like that is more effective than using the ropes that some people do, because that wide grip is what's going to help stretch your lats out. When you're going close, your lats aren't going to get as much activation as when your elbows are flared out with a straight bar. Next, we're finishing off with some shoulder exercises. So we've got the single arm upright rows. Now, I'm doing this with a kettlebell for a simple reason. It's keeping the weight below my elbow, okay? Try doing shoulder exercises with a kettlebell rather than a dumbbell, and I guarantee you'll feel more activation from it because of the way the weight is anchored. So when I do upright rows or any sort of shoulder raise exercise, I say to imagine you're being pulled by the elbow like a puppet, it. You know, it's that movement, right? Well, a lot of people swing their arms up and have their wrists come above their elbows and all sorts, and by doing that, you're not activating your delts as much. Your traps are getting used, other muscles are getting used, and you're just not getting as much contraction in the shoulders that you want to. So try using kettlebells on your side raises and your upright rows. It's actually a really good way of just being able to get the movement to feel more. Then the final exercise we did was around the worlds. I love these, and I don't know where I saw them, but I've been using them for a long time, and it's just an all-round shoulder killer to finish off a workout. I'm only using 9 kilo dumbbells here, and that's all I need. It's getting a massive burn on. It hits like basically every head of the shoulders, and when you go to the back view in a second, you'll see what I mean. It uses the traps as well, back. It's just a good exercise to chuck into a back and shoulder day. There you can see how much it's using my rear delts as I come up, then to the front and medial delts, and you can see my traps and lats getting used as well. It's just a really good movement which you can use with lightweight to get some good results, and it really gets you a shoulder pump going. So I did 4 sets of these to finish off. I like to mix up my shoulder exercises and try different supersets, combos. Just keep it interesting. I've got loads of different variations, and I'll do a proper shoulder day video soon showing all the different variations I know to make a really brutal, like, hour-and-a-half long shoulder workout. But yeah, and I've just finished off with a couple of like extra reps just to burn out, and just some posing. So I feel like I've regained a lot really quickly. And at the moment, I'm basically only on 200 tests because the deca I've only just done as of yesterday. So it's going to take a while to kick in. And for the next 4 weeks as well, I'm going to be in a calorie deficit, quite a big one. So we'll see if the deca causes any water retention while on such low calories, or whether I'll start to really peel out, because I'm going to be super strict. And then when I add in those extra calories, I should just blow up like a balloon. So that's the plan. So no dirty bulking, no fucking around this time. Diet is where I always fall down, and that is where I'm going to come in hard. If I get my diet down with this, I know I'll put on a lot of size. My training is there. I think you can see with this training, I know what I'm doing. My form is good. I know a lot of different exercises to hit the muscles. It's just about my food. So if I can manage that food, get it contained and controlled, I'll be much happier. So yeah, pretty happy with my overall physique. Just improvements to be made here and there, which is the entire point of the bulk, is to really fill out my weak areas and help the strong areas still grow but not outdo the weak areas, because otherwise what's the point? So things like chest I won't be training too hard because they grow really easily, but things like back I'll train quite a lot, and my legs obviously. But yeah, that was today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the stats from the watch. I think it's a really cool addition, and I can try some different workouts with this, some different cardio. I do need to improve my cardio, but since stopping training a while ago, it has dramatically increased. Like, I find I can just do more intense exercises and recover quickly, or quicker even, and I could do longer durations of cardio exercise without getting gassed. So things are going good. I feel a lot healthier. I feel like I'm growing, and over the next couple months I should really start to grow. So let's just, next couple weeks, let's get peeled, and then let's just explode like a balloon. That's the plan. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. I've got a lot more good stuff to come. I will see you all soon.